why don't we start with testing for breast cancer?
Okay.
Right? Because I guess this is where it starts for women. How do you detect breast cancer? What tests are best? What tests maybe aren't that good?
Yeah. So this is a super duper highly controversial topic, right? So testing for breast cancer traditionally in this country and many others around the world has meant getting a yearly mammogram. And in 2003, the United States Prevention Task Force reviewed mammograms, the harms of mammograms, the benefits of mammograms. And basically what they came down to is that they were not recommending mammograms for women under 50. And after 50, they were recommending mammograms every other year, and everyone was in an outrage, right? You're violating women's rights and you're not protecting women. And I was really in that camp for a long time because, like everyone else, I believed that the studies that I was told that mammograms save lives. Now, fast forward 20 years, and my perspective is very different because, first of all, the mammogram studies were done on the 2D mammogram, which we're no longer doing. The vast majority of women are getting digital breast tomosynthesis, which is a 3D mammogram, and that delivers 2 to 3 times more radiation than the traditional 2D mammogram. So now we're talking about doing 2 to 3 times more radiation to women over a lifetime.
And by the way, one mammogram isn't it the equivalent of several hundred X-rays?
It is.
Right?
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially
that's each visit.
The digital breast tomosynthesis, especially the 3D. So you think about the lifetime exposure of radiation and then 3xing it, we have a problem, right? And in addition to that, because of the sensitivity of the 3D as compared to the 2D, the number of callbacks goes up significantly. So now women are not getting radiated once a year. Now women are getting radiated 2 times a year, sometimes more than that. This is a big problem over people's lives. Now, when we look at the population of women who screen, so let's say they start sometime between 40 and 50, and they screen until they're 70 or 80, and you compare them to the women that don't screen, survival is exactly the same. So maybe the women that screen die of less breast cancer, but they die of more heart disease. The women that don't screen might die of more breast cancer, but they die of less heart disease. And in the end, what screening doesn't do is decrease the number of advanced breast cancer presentations. And those are the ones that are more likely to die of breast cancer. So ultimately, breast screening with mammogram does not save lives. It does not. It's inarguable. It does not save lives. And we have to figure in how many breast cancers the radiation over time is causing. So this is a conundrum, for sure a conundrum. And one of the things that comes up is that if you screen, you find more early cancers, you treat more early cancers, and as a result, and in the process of treating breast cancer, surgery, radiation, chemotherapy, anti-hormonal therapy, most of those, 3/4 of those, will accelerate heart disease. And most women who get breast cancer, certainly early breast cancer, they don't die of breast cancer. They die of cardiovascular disease. That's twofold. The first is that the treatments for breast cancer actually accelerate cardiovascular disease. The second is that the same nidus that led to breast cancer, which is that underlying chronic inflammation, is never dealt with in the course of traditional breast cancer treatment, which the vast majority of people, maybe not your listeners, right? Your listeners are looking for more, but the vast majority of people are undergoing traditional therapies. They're getting surgery, they're getting radiation, they're getting chemotherapy, they're taking anti-hormonal drugs. So the vast majority of people are being put into a situation where the number one killer of women, it's not breast cancer, it's cardiac disease, that is being accelerated in this population. And so it's really a complex issue that all starts with whether or not to screen with mammogram. At the end of the day, I certainly don't want to discourage people from doing what they feel like the right thing for them is. And if you really feel as if you want to screen with mammogram, go ahead and do it. I do recommend that you take 100 milligrams of melatonin 1 to 2 hours before in order to decrease the free radical generation that comes along with X-ray, with ionizing radiation that causes DNA damage. So to be able to combat those free radicals, I do recommend taking 100 milligrams of melatonin 1 to 2 hours before. But what's really, truly promising is that there is new imaging on the horizon. It's FDA approved. It's not FDA approved yet for screening, but it is FDA approved. It is non-ionizing. It does not require any trauma to the breast. So there's no compression. It takes 15 minutes. It's more sensitive than MRI, and it's inexpensive. So I know you're going to be hearing more about that, and it's going to revolutionize breast imaging. And until then, I think you need to do what you feel comfortable doing.
Thanks for watching. If you like what you just saw, why not subscribe? Here's a link to do that. And if you'd like to watch the full interview, you can find it at chrisbeatcancer.com. There's a link to it in the description right below this video.